up, Deadheads? Welcome to Dead Guys Talking, episode 4. Back for more, sir. I am John, aka Johnny Walker.
I'm Tyler, and this is the show we talk everything Walking Dead.
Awesome, and this is our special holiday episode.
Absolutely.
Or around the holidays, rather. I've heard that Walkers, we could be a little louder, a little more boisterous in this episode because, Walkers don't do well in the cold weather.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
So we're gonna ramp it up a little bit, and oh my God, am I so excited to introduce our special guest today. This beer right here. I am not shy about my love for Stone Brewery. Stone Brewery, Ballast Point's a close second, but Stone Brewery is pretty much my favorite brewery of all time. And right here we have for you guys Choco Vesa.
Choco Vesa.
Choco Vesa. This is their take on Mexican hot chocolate. This thing has coca, coffee, hot peppers, vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg. This is going to be a holiday explosion in our faces. I cannot wait. I've been looking for this beer for like 2 years now, and I can't wait to share this with you guys. Well, we're not sharing it. It's all for us, but you can watch us enjoy it.
This guy called me when he found this and was just ecstatic. So,
oh my
it's gonna be
God.
good.
And my voice is still shot to shit. I'm just gonna shamelessly plug myself. Oh, I didn't know it was that kind of video. But anyways, my voice is still recovering from my little Joker video I did. Thank you guys for all the support on that. More on that later. Well, not more on that, but more on kind of opportunities that has opened up later. Ooh. Now let's get down to business. Not completely black. I could see through this thing.
It does look pretty thick, though.
Yep.
Like motor oil.
Not as black as I thought it would, but oh God. Let's get a big old nose full of this guy. Okay. I'm smelling cinnamon. It smells like a cold hot chocolate.
Yeah. You can smell the spice, that's for sure.
Yeah, it definitely smells. It's like freaking holiday pine sol. Ready? Wow.
Sorry, I was getting a little too excited. I was getting
You
a little
think
too
you know a
excited.
guy. You think you know a guy.
I can't wait to taste it. I'm just so curious.
All right, sir.
All right, brother. Cheers.
Episode 4. This one like evolves. Just doesn't. Whoa. It's still things are happening. What do you think?
Well, first off, I like it.
Okay.
It's a damn good beer. I don't know if I could sit and drink more than 3 of them.
Right. Yeah, this is gonna be a tall order tonight.
Yeah. Taste the coffee.
Yes. Coffee's very prevalent.
You can taste the cinnamon, but not as much as you can smell it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's I wonder when this was bottled. I don't know. To be honest, it doesn't taste as fresh as I think it should.
Yeah.
It just tastes a little, but these are gonna be pretty fresh. It just, I don't know, maybe it wasn't stored correctly or something, but I'm getting a little bit of that metallic tang that you get with a beer that's kind of sat on the shelf too long.
Yeah, I kind of get that. That may just be how it was brewed, though.
Yeah,
also.
could be. But I mean, okay, so that's just the only negative I'll say about it. But I mean, right away you get just shit ton of coffee, a lot of coffee. You get the cinnamon and the coffee at first, and then once you start talking and stuff, I'm not getting any of the heat from the pepper that I thought I was gonna get. I get no pepper.
I taste a little bit of pepper.
Yeah?
A little bit of pepper finish.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not getting it. But I'm getting the nutmeg. I'm getting the holiday vibe from
Yeah,
this beer.
yeah, definitely getting the holiday vibe for sure.
I think I talked this beer up to myself way too much. I put it up on a pedestal. I don't think it wasn't fair to the beer that it couldn't have reached. It's because it's not. Ooh, I am getting a little pepper now.
Yeah,
A little spice.
a little bit of spice.
It's just like the raisin bread. We just had to talk about it. It appears. But yeah, I'm getting a little heat now. But it's not my favorite stone beer, which I thought it would be. But it's still pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's still pretty good. It's got a really good kick in the teeth when you drink it.
Definitely it's like a meal. It's like a dessert. I'm getting a little bit of the alcohol sweetness too. I mean, it's a bigger beer. It's 8.1. But yeah, I mean, let's get down to the nitty gritty on this guy. Rating this thing out of 5, what would you give it?
I'm gonna say a 3.5.
3.5. That's fair. I like it. I think a little bit more. I'll push it to like a 4.3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean it's. Please don't get me wrong. This is a phenomenal beer. If you could find it, grab it. But like I said, I just think I put it on a pedestal which nothing could have achieved.
Yeah, it's still. It's just a beer you just gotta try.
Yeah.
It's,
It's a bucket list beer.
Yeah, because it's what it is. I mean, you just have to try it.
Yeah. We can't put it down.
Yeah, I know. I'm still trying to just taste everything that this beer has to offer.
Yeah. There's a lot. It's a lot going on. It evolves a lot. So like while we're talking during the rest of the show, we might just be like, "Hey, and there's that." It's like because there it is. It's just constantly evolving right now.
And it warms your stomach like a liquor.
Yeah, yeah.
Or like a holiday. Yeah,
like a hard nog.
Yeah, yeah.
That was weird. Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. Well, got the nutmeg. And,
right. Yeah, 100%. It does. It has almost like you just took a shot 5 minutes ago feel to it.
Yeah.
That's weird. But good. I mean, Stone Brewery is just, they kill it, man. They absolutely kill it. They know what they're doing. And just keep brewing this thing because it's amazing. I know it's a pain in the ass, they said, to brew. But thank you for taking the time because it's very appreciated. All right, sir. We're not a full-on beer show. We're about 25% beer show and 75% other show. And we're gonna go off the beaten path a little bit because something happened today in the news that I just feel like we should bring up. It has nothing to do with Walking Dead. It has nothing to do with beer, but it is a huge kind of. I mean, we're kind of geeks. I will say we're a big nerd show.
A little more him than me, but
a lot more him in girth and in actual nerdisms. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't go forward without just mentioning the passing of Carrie Fisher, which you know from, of course, Star Wars. She played Princess Leia. She got many of our fathers through puberty in the slave bikini. But she was just a fantastic woman. She's a very strong woman. It's just a heavy blow. We heard that she had a heart attack a couple days ago, and then I guess it kind of got her. But just it's a hole that's not going to be filled like whatsoever. We talk about deaths on the Walking Dead and everything, and we get upset when we see our favorite characters go. Like it. When we see Abrahams and Glenn's and stuff like that, and that leaves a huge hole. But this is this person, is going to be a huge void to fill, and it can't be. So no spoilers for Rogue One. I have a Rogue One spoiler video up, but just the last line of Rogue One. Seeing that now is just extremely haunting but just brilliant. It's these things happen for a reason, and it's just like Rogue One just came out, and then just what happened with Carrie Fisher, and there's no coincidences, and it's just amazing, and she'll be missed.
Rest in peace.
All right, moving along.
But Blink-182 did write a song about her.
Yeah, that's right, on Dude Ranch.
Yes.
Man, I miss Blink. Because that whatever we have now is not
It's
Blink.
not Blink.
Which is just, it doesn't make
But
sense.
they haven't been Blink in a while.
They have not. But, what was it called? New Hope!
New
How's
Hope.
oh man, look at pull that out of your closet. Dust off that CD, freaking Dude Ranch, and put on New Hope in honor of Carrie Fisher, man. Like drink some good beer and listen to some good Blink.
Absolutely.
God, what are we doing this for? Let's do that now. I just want to do that. Character spotlight of the week. This is a big one. There's not a whole lot of Walking Dead news going on right now. There's not, a lot of big casting news or anything like that. So we're going to fill this time with a major character in the spotlight.
None other than
Rick
Grimes!
Mr. Grimes!
The sheriff.
Yeah, Mr. Rick Grimes. Why don't you kick us off? Well, real quick, we're going to do kind of a Rick, like how we do normal character spotlights, but we're also going to just kind of compare him a little bit to Rick in the comics as well. But why don't you kick us off with Mr. Grimes, his journey so far?
All right. Well, Rick is obviously an impacting character. Obviously, he's Mr. Grimes himself. I've recently gotten into the comics, which we'll get into a little bit more later. But and he's one of the few characters that is there's a lot of similarities and very few things that differentiate the comic book character to the show.
Absolutely.
In my opinion.
Yep.
I'm only so far on the comics, but either way you put it, he's a very plays a huge role in not just the show, but in every character in their lives and their growth, in the show.
Absolutely. You said it perfectly when you said, comic Rick and show Rick are very similar. They're probably the most true to the comic book character, as the show. So, Rick Grimes in the comic, same kind of origin story. But yeah, Rick in the show, he starts off the same way as he does in the comic book. But the only big glaring difference between, I think, just with his characterization from the comic, is he's a lot more of a reluctant leader in the comic book. Shit just goes down right away in the comic book, and he gets shaken. He gets more shaken in the comic book. His resolve does, especially at first and up until issue 48 is what I'll say. And that's it, and you'll see why. But and then he kind of goes like show Rick, and then he starts becoming a leader, and people survive because of Rick.
Yeah.
When people die under Rick, he takes it hard. He feels every single death.
And that's in both the comic and the show. He carries a lot on his shoulder.
Yes.
All that responsibility, that stress on both. He carries it on his shoulder, which is what a true leader does. And I know I've been critical at times as about Rick's leadership.
Yeah.
But would we all really make the best judgment calls in the apocalypse?
Right. Exactly. Oh my God. There's no downtime for them. For these characters.
Oh yeah.
Every moment could be your last. And I think it's kind of portrayed more that way. I think it's portrayed a little better in the comics that way, because literally it shows, it kind of could take more time than in the show. And it literally shows them taking a piss sometimes, and then freaking Walker comes out, and then they have to deal with that. It's just like,
right.
God, there is no break. And so it just, you could tell, or you could see why it wears on him more in the comic book than on the show, because in the show you don't get to see all that downtime as much because it's more streamlined for television.
Right.
But yeah, he's just constantly, and people are just keep coming up to him, and this is on the show too, asking him for everything. What do we do, and that does wear on you, especially when you do make those wrong decisions, like you said. And I just think he's such a dynamic character.
Absolutely. And one thing that I like from the difference between the comic, I don't know if it's something I like, but just something I noticed the difference between the comics and in the show. In the show, and if I remember right, season 1 was a long time ago, but he just kind of assumes that leadership role.
Mm-hmm.
And in the comics, they actually ask him,
right,
hey, we want you to be our leader, we want you to be our decision maker.
Right, they kind of appoint him.
Yeah, they appoint him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but at that same time, in the show, he kind of steps down from that leadership role in the prison.
Yeah.
And once again, in the comics, they kind of not demote him, but they ask him to step down and form the committee.
Right. That he's on. That he's even just like, I don't really want to be on this, and why is there no women on this? And then and they're like, just it is what it is. Just go ahead. Everyone's fine with it. Just
go with it.
Do
Everyone's
it.
Cool. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's a lot of weight. I mean, in the zombie apocalypse, and then in both the show and the comics, he has a wife that's not always exactly supportive, and that's that makes things a lot more difficult too when you don't have support from from the one who needs support from.
Right. But yeah, and of course he's trying to raise a child in all this.
Yeah, that's not even. Well, he's trying to raise a child that's his, and then trying to raise a baby that's not his.
Correct. Yeah. And he's such a stand-up guy. Of course, he takes that one on, seamlessly. But as far as just raising Carl and just trying to, at first he's just like, I don't want you to carry a gun. It's you're just a little kid too. Then he's just like, release the Carl at that point.
Right,
because there's just no time to be a normal parent, and it's just, and especially in the comic, you get to see all these things that happen. Between Rick and Carl, or happened to Rick and Carl, that really shaped their relationship and shaped that father-son relationship, and that's where it's going to be, really crazy, down the road if either of them get killed off, to see what happens. I don't think that. I mean, Rick's not going to be able to take it. Rick at that point. That's why I think Carl's so safe. Is because if they kill Carl off, I really feel that Rick's just like, well, what else? What else to live for? And then he'd be done. So that's why I think Carl's so safe. But I do think eventually they will kill Rick off for a plot device to move Carl further, into that leadership role.
Yeah, I agree. And that'll harden Carl more, and just force him to kind of grow up. But I mean, and you brought up some great points. Trying to teach a young, a boy how to be a man and raise a boy into a man is hard enough.
Yeah.
And then add the zombie apocalypse. I mean, when he's, when do I give him a gun? When do I tell him it's okay to shoot a person, a walker?
Yep.
I mean, that's got to be, harder than I could ever imagine.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I mean,
and Andrew Lincoln, phenomenal. Like you see, like you read the comics came out first, and you see Rick Grimes, and then you just see Andrew Lincoln from episode 1. It's like, man, this guy was born to be Rick Grimes.
Seriously.
This guy is like, he speaks the King's English, It's like, but you never know it because he's so, everyone gives him shit about Coral and all this stuff, and sometimes he kind of overdoes it. But man, he is such a good Rick. He's such a good Rick, and every time, you read the comic, like you almost hear Andrew Lincoln's voice.
Absolutely. Even if you're listening to the comic, even if you're listening to the comic in an English accent, still
we're looking at you, buddy. Yeah.
No, but yeah, Andrew Lincoln. I mean, just a phenomenal job portraying the character in everything. And once again, we say this about, I think, everybody on the Walking Dead cast. For the most part, besides maybe one, Tara.
I'm in another stage of acceptance.
Me.
Yeah, now I'm just. What is it? Anger, and then I think I'm in the acceptance stage of freaking. Oh man, I hope that we never get big enough to actually meet these people, because I'm gonna be like, I don't know what you're talking about.
He said it.
I have a twin brother, and he was an asshole, and he doesn't like you, but I think you're pretty great, Tara. Whatever your name is.
I think you're all right, Tara.
No, I don't. You're horrible.
Alana Masters.
Yeah, you had a fist bump my train of thought. And one cool thing that they captured perfectly from the comic book on the TV show is Crazy Rick. I love Crazy Rick on both things. Which you haven't gotten there yet, but it's not a huge spoiler. You remember what happens in the prison with the
phone.
Yeah, with the phone. Yeah. And it happens just that way, even more so in the comic book. And it's just, I love Crazy Rick. He literally, he'll do whatever he can to protect his family. Like on the episode when those people on the road, kind of captured him. The ones that Daryl was running around with for a little bit, and he has to bite the dude's like neck and stuff. And it was even more like disgusting in the comic book of what they took it. In my opinion, they took that scene way too far in the comic book.
Really?
Yeah. And props to the people that we keep talking about and not mentioning their name for being able to voice act that out, because that was gross.
Yeah.
Like that was like, to read those lines, I felt dirty. Or to hear those lines being read, I'm just like, I'm like looking around at work. I'm like, oh God, I hope no one's looking. This is gross. I'm gonna go to jail for looking at this.
You could have paused this for a minute, walk away. One of those.
Yeah, that scene just goes too far with Carl and a dude, and it was just horrible.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, but then crazy hulked out Rick comes out in the comic too. It's just he's just such a cool person. He goes from he even says it in the book. He goes from a trained police officer, and he's just like, I was trained for this kind of shit. Not everything, but I was trained for this kind of trauma or whatever. And he's just like, but now this is the way, and this is the way of the land, and I think that's what the difference was between Shane and him, where Shane could not grow up, he could not evolve. He was just primal all the way around, my way or the highway type thing, and Rick can accept when he's wrong.
I think it was issue 26, where in the comics, where there's this long Rick monologue.
I know where you're going.
Yeah,
I love
after
it.
he killed Dexter, and him and Tyrese got into it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Spoiling the comics too much. But anyways, people are starting to question him, and he comes out and he just gives this just awesome speech. He talks about how this is a different set of rules. We're all savages now. We take hammers to the skulls of walkers, and I'm probably obviously getting the
We're paraphrasing, but no. But yeah, you know which one.
Yeah, and I gotta say that was just an awesome monologue. So I mean, good job to.
And then
Kurtman.
remember the last line. We are the Walking Dead.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we are the Walking Dead.
So good. Yeah,
exactly.
We are the Walking Dead. It's something like every time, or the first time we shot a walking corpse, or the first time that like you said it. You said it great. Yeah, but it ends on "We are the Walking Dead," and it's just like reading that the first time, I just got chills. I'm like, man, this is so good. Like,
Absolutely. See, my first time reading it was hearing it, and that was also awesome. So, props to you guys at the. I guess we'll go ahead and.
Yes. So now we're gonna.
Props to the Walking Bread.
So we love Rick Grimes. We wanted to kind of keep a big character spotlight kind of for a downtime week, and what better person to fill up time with Rick Grimes. He is the Walking Dead, at least at this point.
Yeah, he's the frontman.
There's
he's the lead singer.
He is the lead singer, absolutely. There's the Negans, and there's the there's the Carols or whatever, or the Daryls, but there is only one Rick Grimes, and he is right now and still will be the Walking Dead.
Absolutely. So good job to Kirkman and creating such a freaking bad dude.
Yeah, such a cool and a relatable dude. Just a cool, down to earth, relatable dude that just gives a shit. And Andrew Lincoln for doing it, man. Like, and just really getting into the role. So thank you. That segues perfectly into our next part, and I will let you hit it off.
Okay, so last episode, you guys listened to John mention the Walking Bread YouTube channel, and I was one of the ones who have never read the comic. I just...
Sorry, pardon my reach around.
Reach around. I was one of the ones who had never read the comic. I mean, I've been a huge Walking Dead fan for a while, but I just don't have the patience to sit down and read the comic. But after John mentioned The Walking Bread last episode, a couple of days later, I got around to pulling up their YouTube channel and checking out. And oh man, I'll tell you what. I mean, It's some good stuff.
You ever heard of crack cocaine? Try watching The Walking Dead.
Crack cocaine is almost as addicting as The Walking
Oh
Dead.
my god! Like seriously, just real quick, just to butt in is I work graveyard. It's a crappy graveyard too because I usually have to go in at like 5 p.m. and stay till like 3 or 4 a.m. and I'm on crappy salary time. They just work me to death. I am literally The Walking Dead. So I'm I'll be driving home and it'll be like 5 in the morning and I won't go to bed now because I have to watch the next episode of the damn Walking Dead and I'm like, God, like, okay, I'm good. I even know what happens. I read most of the comic books, but I'm like,
right?
The way that these guys do it, Josh and everybody there, man, and they're just adding more people to the stable rather, and they just do such a phenomenal job. It's basically books on tape, but motion comic for The Walking Dead.
And here's the thing. It's not just them reading the comic. I mean, there's sound effects. There's background music. And
yeah.
I mean, well, I don't know how these
the
guys
music's been good lately, too.
I don't even know how these guys do it because everything just fits perfectly.
Yep.
A couple of characters will be walking in the grass and you'll hear footprints in the grass. And then a suspenseful moment is coming up. And the way that they just add in and key in the music.
Yep, it's very cinematic.
It's brilliant. So, I mean, I couldn't say enough about The Walking Dead. I mean, I started, I think, either Thursday or Friday, I don't remember. And I'll put on YouTube on my phone and put it up on my dash while I drive. It was Thursday or Friday, and I'm already on issue 27.
Yeah.
So, and I don't have a lot of free time. I work a lot.
Absolutely.
I have a lot going on in my personal life, so I don't have a lot of free time, but I
make time for the bread.
Time for The Walking Dead. So
yeah, man, it's just they kill it over there. You guys are awesome, and just to kind of throw out there, we kind of have a couple special announcements about The Walking Dead.
We absolutely do.
So
tell them, John.
This guy right here just got cast in two minor roles for upcoming issues. I will be playing. First off, just thank you guys so much. Like it was almost like not a joke, but like, oh man, wouldn't it be cool if like we could be like NBA superstars or something? I was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we got to read some of these because this is like our favorite shit ever, and it would be awesome to do so. And then. Man, just they contacted me and they for some reason like our show.
I don't know why.
But they like our show and they reached out and we did some auditions and stuff and so I will be playing. I'll be in 3 issues. I'll be playing Ethan from the Hilltop.
Okay.
If you remember Ethan, he was the one in the actual show that went up to Gregory and right away and stabbed him, and then Rick kind of offs him real quick and just like turns around and goes, "What?" And then the second character is he actually doesn't have a name in the comic books, but he has a name in the show, and it's the guy Bud. Bud is the first savior basically that you meet on screen. The guy on the motorcycle that's leading the kind of motorcycle roadblock. That Daryl and Abraham, I think, is there. I know it's Daryl and Sasha, I think.
And Abraham.
Yeah,
and they blow them up.
And and I got blowed up by a bazooka. Oh, on the show, but who knows what happens in the comic book. So that one I get 2 issues with that character, and then the other one I get 1 issue with. And then this guy is also going to be joining the cast as well.
We'll see.
Oh my God! So again. Thank you guys so much for just letting us be a part of your, Walter White distribution of crack to the masses, and I cannot wait to. I mean, it's just incredible. It's just you think of it, it's like history. It's like there's only so many episodes or so many issues of this thing, and we're going to be able to be a part of this.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Thank you guys again.
So, congrats to this guy for getting cast.
Yeah.
We look forward to continue watching the episodes, and I can't wait to watch the episode where John here will be there, so
Oh man,
looking forward to it.
so excited, so excited. I actually sent in some of that Joker video as part of it, and I just was so amped to want to get this right for these guys that I did it until like literally my throat was bleeding. So but it was well worth it, man. Like, and he's just like, oh, you could have just read one of your favorite characters in Walking Dead. This is great, but I don't know why all this. But I'm like, I just want to make sure.
And if you guys haven't checked out that video on the my boy here does an awesome job. So.
Thank you, sir.
Memories can be vile, repulsive little brutes like children, I suppose.
Sure, I probably won't be doing it again anytime soon, or else I'll be talking like this. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So yes, so look for us. My debut episode on The Walking Dead will be issue 95.
Really, 95.
Yeah. And I think we're at 85 right now on The Walking Dead's YouTube channel.
Man, I got some catching up to do.
Yeah, so they're in 85. I think they just got finished with No Way Out, that storyline from Alexandria. So I got about a couple episodes to get to my part, but man, am I looking forward to that.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Yeah, Walking bread. Next up, we have a bit of news, kind of the only news that we could sink our teeth into. So you kind of fish this one out. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, nothing really too crazy, nothing too big. We talked a little bit about Eugene and his character and how he pretty much solidified his, long-term role in the zombie apocalypse by being the bullet maker.
Let's do that again.
Okay.
I forgot to turn my dishwasher off. This guy sucks.
Amateur hour here.
Dude, seriously. I am feeling this. Let me tell
Dude,
you. My face is on
it too.
fire.
I am feeling it big time.
Oh, man. I'm like sweating.
I'm starting to think, okay, this is 8%. Holy shit.
How many beers have I drank?
I gotta drive home.
Yeah. Well, maybe
Uber.
not for a minute. Yeah. I might not edit this out. I hope if I start editing this when I'm doing this, I might not edit. Okay. So, Mr. Eugene.
So,
Bullet maker.
where do you want me to start off?
I don't know. Idea. Fucking
Okay.
weed in this?
Right? God damn.
Oh.
And just the warm, like,
Man.
bourbon filling, like,
Yeah.
holy shit, like,
Yeah. I'm on fire.
I'm
right
all warm and fuzzy inside.
now. a little sweaty at this point. Damn.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, we talked a little bit of last episode, I believe it was last episode, about Eugene.
I think so.
It might have been the episode before that.
It was last episode.
Okay. We talked a little bit about how Eugene kind of solidified his role and his long-term stability in the zombie apocalypse by being that guy who makes bullets.
Yep.
Well, rumor has it that that's not true. That he's next on the chopping block this coming half of the season 7.
Wow.
So, Billy Ray Cyrus.
Achy breaky
He's got a
haircut.
bike already.
And
So-
Josh McDermott?
Josh McDermott.
Josh-
Who, once again, just an awesome
Kills it.
job.
Just kills
kills it. And I've seen bits and pieces of some of the roles he played. Nothing even similar to this role.
Really?
Yeah. And he just freaking kills this role.
That was one thing that I was trying to say about Andrew Lincoln before. I saw all of his stuff that he did before. It was all like rom-coms.
yeah, like romantic comedies where he's like showing up with like bouquets of flowers on doorsteps and shit.
That was really bizarre. But yeah, I forgot to mention that during our Rick Grimes segment. But yeah, I don't even think I've seen anything Josh McDermott has done. I
saw it and I don't know what it was either on the Talking Dead or maybe I was watching just another Walking Dead YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed a couple different, roles that he played. Just like, brief, segments. But nothing even similar to this. I mean, you would think that this is like the only role this guy could play. Like, you would think, like, this is how he talks and acts on a regular basis because he does that good of a job.
Yeah.
And, no, nothing even similar, so...
He's just kind of a dude in real life, though. He's a good soundbite on, like Comic-Con panels.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've watched a lot of Comic-Con, like San Diego Comic-Con panels on Walking Dead and stuff. And he always has some real good one-liners.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
he's like the funny dude.
Oh, you know where he started? Was doing stand-up comedy.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so...
That makes sense.
And I think he was on, like, some kind of comedy, competition or something, like a
Really?
last comic standing type thing. And I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe I have to do my homework before you air this. But no, I'm pretty sure he started out as a stand-up comedian.
That makes sense. I think I might have heard that too. And that's awesome because you could definitely see he has comedic chops.
Oh,
He's so like monotone in one note
Yeah.
on the show, but what he says is just like so damn funny, and with the haircut,
Right.
But he's a very important role on the show.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I don't care what anyone says. You can make ammunition in the zombie apocalypse. You are like one of the most important people around.
Right.
Now, granted, yeah, there's probably some crazy rednecks who can do that would survive, but at this point where we're at in The Walking Dead, he's an important dude.
You are a diamond, like seriously, and that's why we mentioned it last week. Why Negan just didn't off him right then and there. He sees value in valuable people, and that's why he just didn't, put a bullet in his head. Him even rattling off the schematics of making a bullet right then and there. He's just like, okay, shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the guy in the background's just like, okay. But yeah, he's a big role, and like you said, you kind of went over this a little bit before the show, is that he might get a similar treatment as a comic book character.
Yeah. As Holly.
Holly, yeah.
Yeah. And okay, now I haven't read it or listened.
You haven't gotten to Holly yet.
Yeah, to the point of Holly or the Saviors or any of that. But from what I've heard and what I've read up on is that Eugene in the comic books does get captured by the Saviors but escapes. Mm-hmm. And in the show, we all know that Daryl gets captured and escapes.
Right.
And it's not very likely that two characters escape from the Savior's grasp.
That's true. I will say that someone on... I don't think you're caught up on Fear, but someone on Fear had and this isn't going to be a spoiler, I won't mention names or anything, but someone on Fear kind of got the Holly treatment, is all I'll say. They kind of did the same thing, and when that happened on Fear, I'm like, oh shit, they did the Holly thing. So I don't even think that's going to happen on the show.
So maybe it won't, yeah.
Yeah, so and like you said, he's just so valuable and such... I think Eugene and Josh McDermott is actually a good draw for the show. He's very good for the show, even though lately, since the premiere, he's just been like, just crying the whole time. But he'll get Stella will get a group back, basically. Is what I'm saying.
Right. Well, and the fact that he's so controllable and so easy to manipulate makes him even more important to Negan because of the role he's going to play in the world of Negan and the Saviors.
Yeah.
Because, lots of times, I guess, Negan doesn't like people without a backbone. But in the role of being Negan's bullet-making bitch...
Right.
he's going to need someone that's easy to manipulate. And Eugene, as we all know, is someone that's very easy to manipulate.
Absolutely. And he's a fantastic liar.
Yeah.
He even said in the... I don't know if he said it on the show, but I know he said it on the comic. He said, I have two things going for me. I am extremely smart, and I'm a good liar. And that's, he made Abraham buy into him. He made Abraham be his human shield for so long. This is like a second character spotlight almost. Like, we can pass over Eugene later.
Yeah. Mark checking the box.
Yeah. So I think but basically just to bring it back around, I think we're both in agreement that this rumor probably is not true. Debunked.
Which is,
a
thumbs up, because I want Eugene to stay around, and I want him to eventually get free from the Saviors, but I imagine that's not going to happen until the Saviors are dethroned.
Sure.
Negan and the Saviors are dethroned.
Sure.
But
If Negan and the Saviors are dethroned.
If No, it's got to happen. So
Yeah.
and I haven't got to the saviors in the comics, so I have no idea.
Well, neither has The Walking Bread.
Well.
So, you got a minute. You got a little bit.
So what turned out to be a little news story turned out to be a mini character spotlight.
Yeah.
But a well-deserved character.
Which is absolutely, which is great because I don't think he, I don't know. I won't say that he doesn't deserve his own, but he definitely deserves this much time talking about this. But yeah, I don't think they're going to kill off Eugene. I said this before. I thought that Eugene was going to be one of the two that got Lucille in the premiere. I thought it was going to be Glenn and Eugene instead of Glenn and Abraham.
Oh, really?
I thought they were going to kill Eugene, and everyone was going to be pissed because yes, he's a very liked character, but everyone's going to be like, we waited, this stupid cliffhanger, blah blah blah, and it was just
Right.
Eugene that got it. But that just the way they set up in the season finale, season 6, where Abraham and Eugene have that really touching kind of farewell. Eugene nuts up, kind of has his moment, and says, "You know what? I'm going to be the diversion. I'm going to jump in the RV, let everyone target me, and you guys get off free." So little did we know that was actually Abraham's farewell speech to Eugene, and which I thought was handled. It was great. But I'm glad Eugene's still around, and I think Eugene will. I think he's going to be in there for the long run. Basically, I don't think they're going to kill him this season.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think the rumor's false. But it's what people are saying, so only time will
Right,
tell.
yeah. It's a dead week of news, so we're running along on a good clip this episode this week, but it is time for Tylor's Big Five.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Big Five. Once again, no plans, no preparations.
For anything ever. For
Well,
us.
that's true. That's true. I literally walked in the door and we decided to take some notes.
You think we study? I mean, we just drink and talk about shit.
It's easy.
But yeah, sorry.
I'm good at drinking and I'm good at talking.
That's it. Yes, I'm like Tyrion Lannister. I drink and I know things. Game of Thrones is, as the 1980s punk band The Exploited most eloquently stated, it's filled with sex and violence. Oh! Oh, I just got text from work. They're like, what? All right.
Okay, so The Exploited. The eloquent Exploited.
Man, that was a lot of work for nothing. Sir, do you have a big five, or are we wrapping this up?
Oh yeah, where are we now?
Did I get it? I got it!
This guy's been clapping the whole fucking shoot.
Ew! I got the clap.
That's true.
Tell your friends.
Shit. We have lost all hope. Okay.
Kiss Rick.
Did not just do that.
I was going to be pushed to the end on the blooper. Damn.
Where'd you guys find this guy? Okay, Tyler's top 5.
Nope.
No.
Try again.
No, shit, sorry. Let's start all over. Rewind. Tyler's Big 5 might be a top. We don't know.
We don't know.
Since we haven't really went since episode The Ghost, we haven't went with the death category. We're gonna go with the top 5 most shocking deaths.
Nice.
I think last time we started with myself, right? So Tyler's Big 5, which is the top 5 most shocking deaths. Now, this may not be just the character shocking, but how they died being shocking. So, 5 being shocking, number 1 being the most shocking out of all. So,
Nice.
go ahead and start it off, John.
I will in 2 seconds, because now that you said that, I want to change something. So, my number 5 on the most shocking, and this is not how she died, but just what happened. And this is a non-comic character, so I was just completely along for the ride in the TV show. And my number 5 is Beth. How she died. it was pretty shocking. I felt like they were building her character up to more. She was, when we met Beth, she was kind of on the suicide watch, and then she met Noah and everyone in the police run hospital. Yeah, and then and I thought they were gonna have a nice reunion with Maggie and all that, but lo and behold, she bullet to the brain. So that was my number 5.
It's a good one. That's a good one. Beth, like I said, I agree with you. She was. I thought they were going to build her character into something more. And I'll talk more about Beth here in a little bit.
Nice.
So, my number 5 is Martinez.
Oh, okay. Not. What was the guy's name?
Oh, not Morales.
Not Morales.
Because he's still alive.
He's the dude in the boots.
Mr. Boots Martinez.
Oh my god. I could have sworn you were saying Morales. I thought you were trolling me hard, bro. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
I wouldn't do that to you, man. I wouldn't do that to you.
Really? We're starting there. Okay, Martinez.
Oh,
okay, yeah.
He was one of Rick's. Not Rick's.
Brian's.
The governor's. Yeah, Brian. Well, first he was the governor's.
Right.
One of the governor's henchmen, I guess, so to say, at Woodbury. And then he was kind of like a more quiet, just kind of in the background kind of character. And then, boom, we see him jump up into the leader, into the new camp that the governor runs into as when he introduces himself as the Brian. Not the Brian. Brian.
Zombie apocalypse, he might be the Brian at this point. Yeah.
But, and at that point, Martinez is leading the camp. He's their group leader.
And arguably better than how the governor was running his camp.
Yes, absolutely. And, he instantly kind of obviously, befriends him again. The governor, or Brian, befriends Martinez again, and, they're hanging out. And I thought maybe it might eventually happen, but the way it happened when they're sitting there just like kind of a makeshift driving range on the top of an RV or something, and then just whack, that I was like, and then drags him into that like zombie pit.
Yeah.
That like I was.
And then sets him on fire.
Yeah, that was like, holy freaking smokes.
Yeah, thoroughly, holy smokes. Wow.
Oh, snap!
Yes, we had it. We got it. We got there, guys.
Unplanned, unrehearsed, only here on Talking. No, on Dead Guys Talking.
Equal to me. Oh man, yeah, it was such a good death. Not only because of the shock value. Oh, okay, I'll give you like a 6 out of 10 on the shock value because you knew Brian was gonna he was Walter White, like we said. He was gonna be like, no, I run this shit. Even though it would have been better under Martinez's rule, but then the actual brutality and the gruesomeness of his death was amazing. So yeah, I agree. So number 4, I have Andrea. Andrea was more shocking to me because of her status in the comic book at the time of her status in the show. I won't go into spoilers, but Andrea, I thought she was going to get out of that. They kind of set it up in such like a... They kind of set it up in like a plotting way. I mean, okay, so let me just say this. Andrea in the show annoyed the shit out of a lot of people, including myself. She was not the Andrea from the comic books. Andrea from the comic books is actually really cool. She's a person that you actually care about and you want to stay around. Right. Andrea on the show just came off as kind of whiny and just kind of in the way.
Yeah, just obnoxious.
Yeah, and just kind of no offense, but just kind of like a dumb girl. Like she's just like, oh, whoever's in power, I'm just gonna jump in bed with, and it's just like
dumb blonde.
Yeah, even though it's this dude, and it sucked, and I just wanted so much more from her because of how strong she is in the comic book. And then when she gets it, like she's tied to the thing, and then they reanimate Milton or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like really like she got out of it in time off screen, and everything happens to Andrea off screen in her death scene. It's just like, You know she got out of it. You know she could take care of a freaking zombified Milton. This guy can't tie his shoes right when he's alive. He's not going to bite your neck when you're a badass. And it's just like, that was so disappointing.
Yeah, I could say, I agree with you, disappointing, but I wasn't so much shocked. Like, I don't know, but I just saw it coming. I was like, it's Andrea's time. Like, she's going. You know, I don't know, and it goes to just kind of a theme of the show that I've noticed is, and we've talked about it before, is, you know, obnoxious characters become not obnoxious, and people gain more clarity and wisdom and kind of that moral compass, kind of that insight.
Yeah, they get that aha moment.
Yeah, yeah, and I saw that with Andrea. So, but
just when you think someone's not a douchebag, that's when they get the axe.
yeah, exactly. You know, Andrea and Merle.
Right, exactly. Or it's on the other end of the spectrum. Then you get the Nicholas and the Spencer apex too, where you just meet the top of the douchebag stratosphere, and that's when you just
stay there.
You gotta go. You just everyone's like, okay, we're tapping out on the douche.
Yeah, cut his guts out.
Can't do it.
So no, but I would probably put Andrea on my honorable mentions.
Yeah,
but you know, spoiler alert, she's not on my top 5.
And we didn't do honorable mentions. How sad. So number 3, sir. Or no, I'm sorry. You're number 4.
My number 4 is Mika.
Ooh,
and we've
mixed
these up on some last episodes. We called Lizzie Mika.
Okay, fair enough.
Lizzie.
I mean, we have been drinking.
Yes, this is true.
We have built-in, just complete caveats.
Exactly. So Lizzie was Look at the Flowers.
Yeah.
Which was shocking, but not as shocking as Mika. Because Mika was like, oh shit, they just killed like a, barely over a toddler.
Yeah.
And Lizzie, you almost saw it coming, and the whole time you're thinking this can't really happen. Carol can't do this. Tyrese can't allow this.
Right.
But there's still a party that kind of like, no, it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But Mika, for me, was like shocking. Like, holy smokes, did that really just happen?
Yeah.
And from a tough little girl, a tough, like, positive, optimistic, just sweet little girl, in Mika, and then, boom, her older sister just kills her.
Yep. Yeah, man, that will go down as always one of my this is a list for another show, but The Grove is one of my top 5 favorite shows, or favorite episodes on the show so far, just because of how it was shot, the tough decisions that were made, I don't know, it was like watching a different show. It was like a show that wasn't connected to this, but, obviously was. It was just so good, and it was like, childhood actors get a bad rap a lot of the times, but these two girls played these roles to the fullest. They were so good. Oh, yeah. And it's dealing with it had some really thinking stuff for a, you're not seeing this kind of stuff on Z Nation, guys, I'm sorry. But It's just like, you have like, okay, this girl could be a undiagnosed paranoid schizophrenic or, multiple personality disorder. How do we deal with that now that the system is shut down?
Right.
We got to kill him. It's like, oh my God, really? Yeah. But yeah, of course.
Sad.
When safety has become the gold standard of being effective in life, that's when, you got to make these tough choices. And, I won't spoil anything for the comics, but you're going to roll up on something and it's going to be cool. But, or not, depending on how you felt about that, The Grove. But, that's a great call. Both of those girls. It's a great call.
Right. And the whole Lizzie thing had to have been one of the hardest decisions that's anyone's had to make in the entire show of The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, it wasn't Lizzie, it was Mika. So
yeah. Either way, they're both taking dirt naps.
That's just true.
My number 3 is going to be Demise. Denise was the makeshift doctor in Alexandria. Her death was shocking. Okay, so let me just say this. I thought she was going to live a lot longer, but during her episode, I think it was called East or West or some direction, is when Denise got the arrow. I thought she was going to be around for a lot longer. Also because of the comic, but she kind of stepped in front of another character's death in the comic, And once the show was going, I'm like, oh shit, they're on the train track. I see, kind of what you're doing here, and I kind of saw it was kind of like telegraphing it that it was gonna happen. But when I figured it out before it happened, I was like, oh crap,
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a good one, and that definitely made my honorable mentions too. Obviously not my list because she wouldn't be on my honorable mention list. But man, I was like this close to putting that on my list, and I agree, especially the fact that she was the the veteran, or no, she wasn't the veterinarian. She was the med school graduate who never actually practiced medical or whatever it was. But then, the way she kind of started to come out of her shell and actually had the ability and the guts to perform surgeries and do those kind of things. I thought, yeah, okay, well, she's at the beginning of her evolution. She's going to progress into a strong character,
right?
Like almost like a Carol type progression. Minus obviously certain aspects, but and then with her and Tara, and I thought that relationship was gonna kind of evolve more, and So no, it's a good character. It was a shocking death. Not only the character, but the way it happened.
Yeah.
Now, for non-comic readers that I was, not anymore. Read.
Yeah, read.
Dude, arrow through the freaking eyeball. That shit was crazy.
And still finish her sentence like a boss.
Yeah. And then just boom. I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That was a shocking.
It was a good shit moment.
Yeah, in my process of trying to think of my top 5, I probably I think pushed that away, and that probably should have made my list.
But to what your points earlier, she had the aha moment. She figured it. Female Eugene, where she was just kind of in the background. She was very sheltered. She was extremely intelligent, but she wanted to go on the road. She wanted, who in their right mind let the doctor, your only doctor, go out, on a run?
Yeah, who does that?
But she's like, no, I'm cool. I'm with Daryl and Rosita, probably two of the most capable people keeping you safe out on the road. But then you don't. Yeah, you're safe against the walkers, but you don't count on stupid ass Dwight putting an arrow through your damn eye. So she had that epiphany. She had that moment where she opened that car door and she got the soda or something from that walker, and then she put the walker down or something like that. And so you either get your aha moment and then you're done, or you're just that big of an idiot and they got to get rid of you. So
well, that's a good comparison. The female Eugene comparison. It's a really good one. So.
Your number 3, sir.
My number 3 is Merle.
No,
but not Merle.
Merle.
Merle's the Walker Merle.
Oh, man.
Was put down, unless I'm remembering things wrong, by his brother.
No, yeah, you're
Daryl.
Right. That's how we got crying face Daryl.
Yes. Okay, that's right. Yes. So okay, I was like, I hope I remember.
It's the most famous Walking Dead meme of all time.
So. Not Merle's death, but his Walker death, which was done by, his brother and Daryl. And, once again, just like Chuck Norris, when Daryl cries, the world cries.
Right.
Kudos
to Norman Reedus for that scene.
Oh, man, absolutely. And I don't know, maybe this doesn't fit in the most shocking, but maybe just the most impactful, exactly the word I was thinking of. Yeah.
That's why we do a show together. Compliments.
So, and I don't even really know if I have much more to really say about it, because it's like, it kind of speaks for itself. Daryl having to put him down, and then just the whole scene, and then Daryl's reaction afterwards. Not much more to say, but like I said, I don't know if it fits in shocking, but just the way it went down was just like, you ended that episode with just like, kind of in awe. And in awe in many different ways, just because of what just happened.
Right.
And Daryl's hatred and love for his brother.
Yeah. Good
point. And, when he did that, it's kind of an act of both.
Yeah.
You know, to
Wow.
kill somebody that you know as a walker, it's an act of love, but at the same time, I think there was that hatred involved.
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but he didn't, like, just... It wasn't just a quick death? Or was it a quick death? Or did he beat the shit out of Walker Merle?
Yeah.
To, like, a pulp?
Yeah, like, he let out some anger.
Yeah, so... Yeah.
Yeah, and then his reaction afterwards is kind of just... The whole thing just kind of left you in awe. And I guess that's a shock value, is being left in awe, so...
I get it.
That's my number 3.
And, you know, as far as me talking about Merle, you know I have a lot to say about Merle.
Merle?
But I won't this time. Tyler said it all. I can't talk about Merle anymore. I'm done with Merle. All right, I've moved on from Merle. Yes, good pick is what I'll say, and I will segue into my number 2, which was one of your most annoying characters. But now that you're reading the comic book, you probably change your tune a little bit, and that's my number 2 most shocking death is Dale.
Oh, okay.
And
yes, he's not as annoying in the comic book.
yeah, it's actually awesome in the comic book.
Yeah, he's actually he's pretty freaking awesome. He's kind of my hero.
yeah, right. Actually, I was shocked when he died in the show because of the comic book, and that was kind of a same thing as I went through with Game of Thrones as I was reading and watching at the same time. And it's just like, oh crap, this person died here, but they didn't die here when they should have, and that's why it's kind of confusing to do that. But Dale dying on the show when he did, I was just like, oh my god, but there's so much Dale to go. Like, there's so much more Dale to see, and like he has this moment, and he didn't, and those moments were given to other people in the show where he had them in the comic book, but. And I just don't know what, I don't know, I'm sorry, again, if we ever get big enough to meet these people, I'm sorry to the actor, but I couldn't stand the actor. I don't think you could either.
No, absolutely not.
And, I wasn't sad to see him go. I was just like, God, this guy's a douche. But, I was just very shocked because I thought that I was giving, like, the actor and the character in the show credit, enough credit to be like, okay, he sucks now, but he's gonna have these moments later. And then he just got wiped out by this stupid mud bogged down walker. What? What was the point of this guy?
Right.
Like, this is how you're killing Dale? Like, Dale's the shit on the comics. Yeah. And then, like, that's how he went in the show. I'm like, he was just, there was no salvation. There was no retribution at all. Like, Dale just sucked on the show.
Yeah, he absolutely sucked. And he's just such, I don't know, just like a weasel. Like, I don't know. And I don't know, maybe that's the direction they wanted to portray him in the show. But you're right. In the comic, like, he's a big role. And sometimes things take longer. Like you said, they show a little more things. But at the same time, like, they're at the prison, it seems like instantly.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, that's...
Yeah.
You're
Wait
not
a minute.
there yet, I mean, they spend, little to no time at the farm.
Right.
And, then you're in the prison, and now it's like issue 27.
Yeah.
Dale's still around. Dale's cool. He's like... I mean, I love comic book Dale.
Yeah. Comic book Dale is like an amalgamation of show... he has a little bit of show Herschel in him.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Like kind of the wise, like the wisdom of Herschel, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Herschel in the comics doesn't have as much wisdom as he does in the show from what I've got in the comics.
Yet.
But so, I can say, but I don't know. Me, I was just kind of glad to see Dale go. Like, he bugged the shit out of me.
Yeah, he was such a bad character on the show, and I want to be fair to the actor because maybe it wasn't his choice. Maybe that's just the material you had to go through. But man, he did a good job of annoying me to my damn core.
Yes,
because he every time he opened his damn mouth, I'm just like, even when he was like talking Andrea out of staying at the chemical or the CBC. I'm just like, man, I wouldn't listen to this guy. He's not making it sound good. It's like, okay, your old ass is gonna sit down and die with me. Cool. Yeah. Sounds better than getting eaten. Like, he just didn't come off as like genuine at all. He just came off as just like annoying.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Dale.
I've openly just hated that guy.
Yeah.
And not very many people do. Like, some people are like, oh no, Dale was cool. He was so nice. And so, like, I love that you don't like him.
Your Dale to you is my Tara.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And oh man. Okay, so your number 2.
My number 2 was on your list, Beth.
Beth.
Man, God, I just wanted to see Beth stick around for a couple of different reasons. But,
Okay. Someone had a crush on Beth. Yeah.
No, and I mean, they went through. It almost seemed like they went through so much, like to build her character up through season 4.
Mm-hmm.
Her and Daryl in the woods, and at that I think it was like a cabin.
Did you enjoy that episode?
Yeah, I did.
Did you really?
I did.
That is the most disliked episode of The Walking Dead.
Really?
I'm not in that majority. Obviously, we know what my most disliked episode is. But no, yeah, that is the majority says that is, especially Trev's chat, says that is the worst episode of The Walking Dead ever.
No, I actually enjoyed it because
They're
those
playing
are
a drinking game. How did you not like it?
And those are I really started to like Beth, like just her character, who she was, and how she. I don't know. I really love a character or just a person that can evolve and derive strength through adversity, especially coming from where she was. And I think that's why I like Carol so much as well.
Oh, yeah.
A character or a person that can go from that state and be able to derive that strength.
Like a rise from the ashes.
Yeah,
kind of,
like
like a phoenix. Yeah.
So, and I don't know, there was just something just that was about her that was just not just her looks, but kind of, I guess her personality and everything, that was just kind of a beautiful person to me. And I don't know, that episode just seemed real. Like,
yeah,
if two people were stranded in the woods together, that's probably
how they would act.
Yeah, that's what they would go
She's
through.
like, I want a damn drink.
Yeah, she's like, I want a drink, and it's the end of the world, and I want to get drunk.
Yep.
And just the way Daryl just kind of like smashes the schnapps or whatever it was, and just like, you want a drink?
We'll drink.
We're gonna go drink. And then
no, for sure. And I really like I'm in the minority with you, and I'm surprised that you like the episode because, like I said, no one else likes it, and that's actually not one of my, I won't say one of my like top 10, but maybe my like top 15, top 20. The episode's called Still, and I really like that episode because of, like you said, it is downtime. It's real people act. Well, they're not real people, but they seem real, like real people acting in a realistic way for the situation. It's just like, yeah, she's like, I've never had a drink, so I want a drink, and he's just like, okay, cool. And it's just like, that's the type of things. That's like why I love the comic so much. These people, it shows them going to the bathroom and what the ramifications are going to the bathroom in the zombie apocalypse. And I appreciate those kind of downtime moments. And a lot of the mainstream is just like, that was just like a filler episode, is throwaway, nothing happened in it. It's like, no, it was a nice character piece, and it showed why Daryl is how he is now, why he acts the way he is now, because he's lost so much. He's lost his brother Merle, he's lost Beth, feels like he's lost Carol, all these people that he's grown close to, and the only other person that he's really attached to right now is Rick, and that's why we got that great emotional scene from him in the mid-season finale.
And Glenn, can't
oh yeah, of course, yeah, man. Oh. Well, and he was sticking up for Abraham when he punched Negan too. Yeah. It's just like, yes, I don't want to downplay. He is a extremely loyal character to everyone, but he has his Daryl's main group,
right?
And a lot of half of that group is now gone.
And Beth became strongly one of those.
Oh yeah, yeah. Would there be a big brother or a romantic interest kind of feelings towards her? We'll never know. But either way, I mean, it's not gross because Andrea and Dale were porking in the freaking comics.
That's what I'm saying. In the zombie apocalypse, you have Slim Pickens.
Gross. Andrew was confirmed to be 26 in the comics.
Which is, yeah.
Oh, it's kind of gross, but acceptable.
But, I thought that was all part of, what we were going to see in the evolution and progression of what Beth was going to be. And, she started getting strength and all that good stuff.
Yeah. The aha moment.
Yeah, that's my number 2.
Number 2. So I'm at number 1. Oh my god. Look at the time. We are so fucked. I am so fucked.
You are fucked.
Oh my god.
You're the hard-working one.
Oh my god.
I just come here and drink beer and talk.
You're like, see you later, bitch.
Oh, good.
It's like you're like a grandparent feeding my kids candy and leaving.
Pretty much.
Jerk off. Alright. So my number 1, and not just because my son is named this, but Noah is my number 1.
Really?
Most shocked. Oh no, here we go. No way. Yeah, here we go.
Merle?
I know.
No,
oh my god.
No, I'm just that's a good one. I'm just surprised that was your number 1.
My number 1, because he hit the trifecta for me. There's no basis of comparison for Noah in the comic book because he doesn't exist. He's a strictly television show character. So Noah, I thought they were going to build up so much because he was a young kid. He could have grown with the show, kind of like a Carl, but a little older. I liked his character a lot. He was very useful. He was smart. He wanted to do this. He had aspirations. And then not only that, killing him in the apex of his growth, because he didn't have that aha moment yet. He had okay, I'm building to something. And then his actual death was freaking gruesome and shocking. My number 1 most gruesome death, which you'll never see because it was in Ghost episode,
It's true.
was Noah, because of it just was so disgusting, and so it was grotesque how he died.
Right.
So that's why he had that perfect marriage of, oh crap, I can't believe they killed him while he's having this character development, and oh crap, that is a gruesome death.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and the way he looked, you looked into his eyes, and, just you.
Man,
I don't know the name of the actor.
Guy from Everyone Hates Chris.
Yeah, he was from the Nickelodeon show or whatever it was.
Yeah, and man, it's such a good job.
The way he just looked, you looked into his eyes and you saw, a dying person.
Yeah.
I can see why he was definitely on your list. The only thing is, I kind of saw him as a temporary character, especially his limp.
I forgot about that.
So the entire time I'm just waiting for that guy to die. Not waiting for the die, just because I saw it coming. I'm okay, he's about to die. So I just saw him as a temporary character.
Okay, so fair enough.
That's why I guess the shock value wasn't there for me, because I saw it coming. There's only so much that a scrawny teenage kid with a limp can survive in the zombie apocalypse.
But once you're in Alexandria, what does that matter?
Yeah, it's still zombie apocalypse. Once the laws come down,
it matters a lot.
Yeah,
you're right. I did forget about the limp, but I still stick by it just because that I don't know why, I just really latched on to that character for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, I really don't know, and just the actual, it was the way it went down is kind of on the level of Martinez's brutality.
Yeah, I can see.
You're number 1.
My number 1, I think, has been on almost every list of mine besides my least favorite characters, which is Tyrese.
Okay.
Once again, I expected so much from this character. When they introduced him, the way they talked about him on shows like The Talking Dead and stuff like that, I just expected him just to be this real stable, long-term character. And the guy was just a freaking pink.
Yep.
And in the comics, he was an ex-NFL player. And I don't think there was... Yeah, he was a linebacker. But for the Falcons, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think that reference was made in the show.
I think it was.
Was it?
I think it was. I mean, fact check, but I'm pretty sure it was.
I'll have to rewatch some of that season. I got to catch up anyways.
In the prison, I think.
Got some competition coming up, trivia. So Tyrese, he's just a freaking beast, a tank, a good guy, and in the comics he's banging Carol. Which is
In the comics, he's banging a couple people.
this is true.
He is, he's Tyreseing it up. But, again, realistic NFL linebacker probably gets some play.
This is true. This is true.
Tyrese was, the way it happened, yes. In the show, absolutely shocking. It was a lot different from the comic books, but, as things are. But Tyrese was a fantastic character. The guy that played him, I can't think of who he is, but he's on Arrow right now as a villain. If you watch that show, watch it, and you'll see Tyrese. But he's an asshole on the show.
Tyrese.
He's an asshole on Arrow.
Is he?
Well, he sucks.
Nice.
But so that is our Tyler Big Five. And you know what happens when Tyler's Big Five is over? That means that is our show. That is our show for the week, so we just want to give a couple of big thanks to, again, Walking Bread, man. Thank you guys again. Holler at your boo. We love you guys from across the pond, and like I said, we're going to send something from this guy, and we'll get him up and running on the show as well. Thank you again for the opportunity, and I can't wait to record my part and send it to you guys. And I want to thank Stone.
Holy crap, thank you, Stone.
Man, Choco Vesa is, we might have given it kind of a lower score than I thought we would at the beginning, but, man, they are persuasive towards the end.
And what a good winter beer. I mean, you want a beer that warms you up?
Right.
Once again, like a bourbon?
Man.
This will do it.
If I had a fireplace, that's where we'd be sitting right now.
Absolutely.
I would put some marshmallows.
Roasting mallows and all.
Seriously, this is as advertised. This is Mexican hot chocolate. Man, it was fantastic, and it treated me right. It treated me like a gentleman, which I'm not used to, as you stated last week.
This is true.
So for John,
this is Tyler.
We'll see you next week.
This is Dead Guys Talking. Woo!